the person who performs karma will have a value for dharma, adharma, right and wrong, and will come to believe that there is an Atma, a self, other than the body. That much is enough in the beginning.
There you go.
I think it explained all the questions I was asking. Sure, I got it.
I said, well, guys, what come you didn't tell me that at the beginning? You know, it's a waste. Now you tell me it's a waste.
Yeah.
Okay, but it has a purpose.
Yeah.
Now, I think, you know, I especially I hadn't read this. Of course, I read it before, you know, but this time I haven't read it, and it seems to be saying what we're talking about. Okay, karma, and not karma, but based on dharma, okay? Based on dharma. It's very important. And here's the karma enjoying Bhagavad. Okay, now when karma that is enjoying Bhagavad is practiced, meaning the rituals and ceremonies and all that, it helps to chasten the mind. Why? Because there's faith, shraddha, and ashruti, isn't it? And don't talk anybody out of their faith.
Yeah.
Don't even, if your mind sees, if you see your mind judging it, stop that. Even though you don't say anything, stop that. Why? Why? You don't say anything. You're just judging. Why should you stop?
Making faces.
And say, you might act, you might even be like this. Wonderful, isn't it? You can be, but in you, there's a poison being created. What? Separation. And not valuing the faith a person has. As a matter of fact, you know, to have faith, someone with faith is someone that has reached something. And you say, but it's blind faith. Let me tell you, that person, that helps them.
Yeah.
So, be accommodating, and not only accommodating in terms of, okay, fool, but I'll let you be. No, come on, it's not that. The person, you know, to achieve that, you know, has gone through difficulties and has gone through struggles, and maybe he still has some struggles. And the person is trying to grow. Now, a person which is completely without faith in God, heaven, and all that stuff, and it is vicious, selfish, cruel, has no belief about punya papa, you know, he doesn't care. Now, it is something that is uncalled for, isn't it? Unwanted, isn't it? But even then, compassion can be there. Understanding. You know, this phrase that says, there go I, but by the grace of God. You know what that means? If it wasn't because of God's grace, I might be exactly the same. That doesn't mean you let him pick your pocket or beat you up or betray you. No, you keep distance, but then hate and all those things should not be there, or judgment like that. Now, is a person doing something? No, but you know what? One day he or she will find a wall and crash. And you hope that at that moment the person says, what the heck is going on? But then again, you cannot do anything for that. Right? You cannot do anything for that. It might be someone dear to you and near to you. And you might not want that person to go through that. But you know what? You can, you know, you can ask permission. Say, can I make a comment? In terms of your behavior, in terms of where you're going. If the person gives you permission, then you say, you know, this is what I think. Period. Of course, I might be wrong. You're going to crash somewhere. And then the guy says, why? Then you say more. If he doesn't, you know what, you're crazy. Okay, thank you. But leave it alone. Don't argue. You know what? Even that, and there's no faith there. As a matter of fact, it's completely. You know, he has faith in this being cruel. has faith in being vicious. That's what his faith is, you know. I mean, what can you do? Now, that doesn't mean that a cop, you don't put him in jail. And you can't, you don't beat him up if he's trying to beat somebody up. Or you call the cops. Or sue him. You can do all that, no problem. But make sure that there is no, how do you call this, hate. It has to be, okay, put all the energy forth and just put the guy in jail, make sure he doesn't come out anymore. No problem. Because it is a thing to do. But make sure that your heart is not poison. But I'm better than you are, kind of a thing. See, because that's what it is, we try to put others down because I am better than you are. Ultimately, you surrender, you actually do the namaskar, just like you do in the Hindu tradition. Why? Because the same Lord that is in you is the same Lord that is in you. As a matter of fact, you are myself. It's like a finger, a toe that has become rotten with gangrene. You cut it off. I love my toe. As to make sure, let me cut it at the level of the heel. Whatever, you take care of it. That's the whole point, because this is the way, that's why people's faith should be left alone. Unless they're willing to listen. Okay, it says right here, this says, by performing karma, you are able to eventually get to the last chapter of the Veda and understand what it says, eventually. Ere long. And then what will happen was, then you will be able to understand what it says. It says, by not performing karma, okay, by not fulfilling your duties, that's what it is, right? Mm-hmm. It says, you will be neither a jnani nor a devout person. You will only be driftwood with no moorings whatsoever. What does moorings mean?
That means
something that you
to hold on to.
Like a sheep or something, that the rope that holds the sheep or something to hold you in one place.
That's right. So driftwood means someone that just
drifting around.
Life will take you up and down and all that stuff. You'll crash sometimes, and sometimes you'll be out in the middle of nowhere. It says, without God, you will only be driftwood with no moorings whatsoever. The rule is that those who are not ready for the knowledge should not be disturbed with it. That's the rule.
It's a good statement.
We will see this later in the Gita. Instead, people are encouraged to perform karma in order to prepare their minds for the knowledge. They are told about Swarga, heaven in the beginning, so that they will perform the enjoying rituals for gaining Swarga. In other words, let's suppose there's a person, it's a religious background of some sort. His mother taught him this, and he doesn't follow. But you want to help him out. Encourage the person to perform karma in terms of the duties. And then encourage him about heaven. He said, but you're talking about something that is not, hey, listen, how do you know it's not there? See what I'm talking about? So encourage that person to do that and bring about the thing about, if the person is a religious believer, then bring him back and say, hey, you want to get to heaven, don't you? Well, live according to the rules of your religion. Meaning what, do good to others. Put yourself in second place, think of others in first place, and so on and so on. But don't bring about self-knowledge and all that stuff, and moksha and all that stuff. Why? Because it will fall in empty ears. What do you call that? Deaf ears.
Deaf ears.
Deaf ears. This is, they are told about Swarga, heaven in the beginning, so that they will perform the enjoying rituals for gaining Swarga. In this way, they will definitely avoid pap, and punya will follow. Now, by avoiding pap, the punya will follow, naturally. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
In other words, this is an avoidance of pap. Oh, that's not right. So what's right will follow. Punya means, you'll get merits, okay? They said, the person who performs karma will have a value for dharma. Is that right? Mm-hmm. He will judge, is this right, is not. sharira.
Subtle?
Subtle body.
Gross,
Sukshma.
gross and subtle body.
No, subtle body.
Subtle body.
Is that Sukshma Sharira, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Sukshma Sharira. So that's the soul. That's the Atma, the I that the person believes that you need to take care of and be careful, because when this body drops, okay, then this soul will suffer the consequences of your actions, and it's gonna go either up to heaven or down to hell. So the person who starts believing there is such a thing as soul, Atma, and this Atma means other than the body. He doesn't know what it is exactly. He doesn't call him Sukshma Sharira. He calls him the soul. And that soul, he needs to actually be careful with it, because it is him. So I said, you're going to go to hell, or you're going to go to heaven. So, and who's going? This body, no, the body's not going, you're going. Meaning what? There is other than the body. It's an I other than the body, which that person has grown to believe in. He no longer puts in the eye in the body, because the body will rot. But there is something there that will remain, and that one is going to go to heaven or hell, but will suffer the consequences of your actions. So be careful how you act. Now, in the Vedanta, the person then, at the beginning, is good enough that he believes in that.
But the Vedanta,
In the Vedanta, then we say that even that becomes an object.
That's so. Although we discussed about the Atma, really the Vedantan will, with his knowledge as a jnani or as a karma yogi, will be pretty much understanding the self rather than.
That's correct, but still, since that is still X.
So
Yes.
when we have the belief of dualism, we believe in this soul going to heaven.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Right, and the person grows to know, now the knowledge unfolds that there is this self is not just the Sukshma Sharira, but Sukshma Sharira is also an object of me. I discover that, and then who I am has no qualities. All the limitations of the subtle body and the gross body don't belong to me,
The soul,
and I don't go anywhere.
Yes.
soul is jiva
Jiva, that's why Jiva means individuality.
with
So in that sense, in a way, self is dual. In a connotation wise, I'm not saying
Yeah, right.
it's dual, because Atma becomes part of is a soul in a sense. I'm not saying
That's
it.
correct. That's correct.
It's sort of a dual. It's not
The
dual.
perception that we have
Dual.
about ourselves is
Okay.
dual.
is
Okay,
dual.
okay.
Right.
And me and the world.
All right.
Okay, and even for the believer, me and the body.
Okay.
Okay, it's still dual. And then the transmigration, me and heaven or hell. That's all dual. Punya or Papa, that's all dual.
For a person in this world, forget the future world, whatever that is. For a person here, for Krishna or all of us, knowing the self, is there is nothing wrong with me. It's basically here. Forget the soul going to heaven or all is just a belief rather than
Yeah.
reality.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the person still believes of itself as a limited jiva. And the